Welcome back, my luxurious fleet, for another luxurious news update. We will be covering a lot of stuff today, including a Maserati that goes 0 to 60 in 2 seconds, as well as Lexus in Europe is outselling Porsche. What is this world coming to? Or is hell freezing over? Possibly. Check this out. So there's literally a blizzard yesterday here in the Midwest, and usually people don't go outside too much, but earlier today we had a rogue female runner running across this pristine, beautiful landscape of snow, beautiful to some. I don't know if you can see my finger, somewhere over here, all the way. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where she ran from. It's just crazy. Who would be running in their right mind in the snow unless it was from a bear? But let's get into the news. As always, we are going to be starting with the land from the rising sun, and of course with Lexus, because that's just what I do. Over at Lexus Enthusiasts, I love these guys. They always have good news. European sales, Lexus outsells Porsche in January. What? How is this possible? Lexus has outsold Porsche in Europe for the first time ever, with 3,800 sales in January, besting the German brand by 576 units. This reversal in position can be attributed to a dramatic fall off in Porsche sales in Europe, dropping about 50% since the brand discontinued their diesel offerings. EPA regulations, man, well, that's in America, but just emissions regulations is changing the ball game. You can see maybe Lexus was a little bit forward thinking and offering hybrids of every single Lexus model, well, almost every single Lexus model in Europe. That's a big deal. Let's get on to the next article. Report Infiniti to exit European market due to poor sales. Nothing is confirmed yet, but let's just read this. It was almost 10 years ago that Infiniti was launched in Europe because, they're like, well, why not? Yeah, it's a market. We can sell our cars there. According to a new report from AutoAct2.com, Infiniti could leave the old continent fairly soon if sales don't go up significantly. They're not going to, not with the current financial status of the entire world. It's a complete mess. Expectations are that this won't happen, and the top management in the Renault, Nissan, Mitsubishi alliance will have to rethink Infiniti's presence in Europe. Of course, nothing is official. We've contacted the blah, 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 blah. But expect Infiniti to be pulling out of Europe. Onto our last Japanese luxury brand. Couldn't find really any fun information about Acura this week, but we're getting a recall on MDX, TLX, as well as a Honda Accord, and it's a big recall. Now, Lexus and Toyota have their recalls. Every brand has their recalls, but whatever. Approximately 437,000 model year 2016 to 18 Acura MDXs. That's a lot. And TLXs. Well, there's definitely going to be more MDXs out there because I feel like they sell a lot more. I don't have the numbers to back that up. That's just kind of what I see here in the States. And of course, there's a ton of Honda Accord sedans in those model years. And they all have the 3.5 liter V6. So pretty crazy. What's the problem? Particulates and fuel may adhere to the internal components of the fuel pump, reducing its performance, which can result in an engine stall, increasing the risk of a crash. Of course, Honda says it has received no reports of crashes or injuries related to this issue. Into Korea, we get with the very first luxury brand we have from Korea, which is the the Genesis G90. So the G90 is being redesigned for 2020. It'll be coming out, I think, this summer. It might already be out in Korea, but this G90 limousine looks pretty baller. The epitome of luxury, yes. This thing is crazy. I would love to see one in America. This thing just screams VIP status. The limo version of the G90 flagship looks as comfy as it gets, with presidential level legroom coming as a direct result of the increase in overall length, 11.4 inches. Stretch goes well with the car's wheelbase, and it's clearly shown by the sheet metal added between the doors, as well as the longer back doors with rear passenger and obvious focus. Let's just get into this interior. I am very hard on interiors if you've seen my reviews on cars, so I'll just kind of break this down what I think about it. I really like these seats. The seat design is very unique, borderline over the top, but you also see that interesting pattern here on the center console area for the back seat. I don't know exactly what you call it. You have your seat controls here. You have on here would be maybe more seat controls, radio controls, rear sunshades, that sort of thing. Some cubbies here for storage, and under here, I don't know what you would have, but possibly a cooler. Of course, you have screens back here. I really hope they're touchscreen. That would be my guess, but it's hard to say. And then on the back here, the trim's not impressive in my opinion. Not compared to like the Lexus LS500 with the Crico glass, because why am I comparing it to that? Because the price is the same. $138,000, you can get the LS500 in the very, very top build with a better I wouldn't say it's better, but yeah, I do say it's better. The trim is definitely a step above. Moving on to Deutschland, also Germany. I probably butchered that, by the way. But Audi looks to cut engineers' management jobs to reduce cost. Well, this is probably a trend we're going to be seeing in the industry. The company wants to reduce costs by $17 billion. When I first saw that, I thought it said 17 million. No, $17 billion. Approximately 144,000 cars delivered worldwide in January this year. Audi sales in the first month of 2019 were down by 3%. That's not that much. Despite the noticeable increase in China, which is 5%, the overall sales of the brand fell mostly because of Europe's continuous decline in new car sales due to the new worldwide harmonized light vehicles test procedure. I don't know what the hell that is. If you guys in Europe know what the light vehicles test procedure is, please let me know. It turns out the brand's blah 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 problems were partly related to the high number of engines the company has on sale for its models. As a result, Audi will reduce the number of engine types in order to optimize its cash flow. Maybe that's something we saw with Porsche, right? Eliminating their diesel motors. It could have been an emissions thing, but it also could have been maybe they just have too many offerings. I don't know. We have discontinued engines and variants specifically for a few markets. Audi CEO Bram Schott told German newspaper Handelsblatt. Overall, we have reduced complexity by about 30%. That's good. They're good. They're streamlining things, trimming the fat, making things more efficient. We can no longer afford models and equipment that are bought by customers infrequently. This is crazy because, I mean, look at Mercedes. Do you know how many models are bought infrequently? Like, a lot of the AMG models comes to mind. They make them, they offer them. I mean, they're not obviously the mainstream product for them. So hopefully we don't see a dialing back in the competitors or too much within the US offerings for Audi as well. But yeah, look here, BMW and Mercedes also reducing the number of engines. So it's happening. It's not just with Audi here. Mercedes-Benz deep dive, what's coming in 2019 to 23. Info on the next S-Class, EVs, SUVs, and more. There's a lot of stuff in here. Definitely check out the link. But we're going to have an AMG A45, which is the new sedan, the new entry-level sedan. But it's kind of ironic because it's entry-level, but they're still making super high-performance AMG model of it. They did that with the CLS. Also on the horizon are the chunky GLB class small SUV, which is available with 7 seats. That is crazy. A new GLE that will include plug-in sporting, 60 miles of range. I would love to see that in a Lexus RX 350. If they're putting it in a GLE, put it in an RX because that's what people want, or at least that's what I want. But yeah, there's a lot. I mean, that's just 2019. There's a 2020. I mean, I could spend 10 minutes just on this article alone. So let's move on to BMW. BMW says it will emerge winner of EV and autonomous transition, announces 2,000 more jobs. So we just saw Audi dialing back in terms of engines and job positions, and we see BMW ramping things up. So quite a disparity there. Hiring 2,000 or more people at Dingolfing factory for jobs in electrification, and a push to emerge winner in the auto industry's transition to electric and autonomous vehicles. So even though they're hiring people, but they're hiring people for electrification, what about all the people that have worked in, the internal combustion engine part of the company for a long time? Are they going to start doing layoffs? I don't know. You would think so in some way. Ilka Horstmeier, the new director of BMW's group, blah, 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 made an announcement this week So it's exciting. We're going to see a lot of BMW electric products, not just the i3 and the i8. Their next one is probably going to be a crossover of some sort because that's the trend right now. Let's go. What's happening for Porsche? We're not talking about EVs for Porsche right now. Porsche 911 turbo photos leak from inside the assembly line. This also could be photoshopped, but I don't think it is. So let's just dive into it. Leaked on Instagram. Appears to be the upcoming Porsche's 911 Turbo. Let's just look at it. There's not really news here. It's just a leaked image. And we can see the actual picture itself over here at Instagram. It looks good. Looks really cool. I love this metallic silver. The quad tip exhaust. Of course, you have the traditional Porsche turbo inlets there right above the rear wheel. Moving on to Great Britain, our cheeky Brits. Tom Brady is caught cheating, guys. I'm probably going to put this in the thumbnail because it's hilarious. But Tom Brady is seen driving Rolls Royce despite being a voice or a sponsor of some sort with Aston Martin. That is freaking hilarious. Let's just get into it. Tom Brady has been spotted in Malibu while on vacation behind the wheel of a beautiful Rolls Royce Phantom. A photo obtained by TMZ Sports depicts Brady driving a brand new green luxury sedan with his wife Giselle riding shotgun. Let's check it out. There it is. There it is. I'm going to click on this. I did not click on this, but I'm probably going to throw this into... look at old Tom there. That is great. Look at him in front of the Aston Martin looking all chic and his cool laceless boots. Can he swing both? Can he swing both Aston Martin Giselle? Wait, hold on. 3? Can he swing 3? I don't know. I mean, he's already doing 2 at once here, so that's crazy. Moving on to the next article. Shucks, Land Rover scraps... Yes, we're still in England, by the way. Even I got thrown off because Tata Motors owns them, and Tata is an Indian company, so I got thrown for a loop there. Land Rover scraps plans for 518 horsepower Discovery SVX. So you're seeing almost like a trend here. A lot of these companies are kind of like downsizing, right? The very first Audi article, and then we've seen some other things here that people are downsizing in Europe. So they're starting to eliminate models that are not going to be cash cows, which is smart because, I mean, these companies have to make money, and the economy right now, or at least in the near future, doesn't look that great, the worldwide economy. So the news from Jaguar Land Rover Special Vehicle Operation Team hadn't been great of late. Word came last month that Range Rover SV Coupe had been canceled, and now the same fate is reportedly befallen the hardcore Land Rover Discovery SVX. So, I mean, it's really scary times for Jaguar Land Rover. They don't have a whole lot of cash on hand. They also have upcoming bills that they have to pay back, which are due this year. So it's not looking good for Jaguar Land Rover. Speaking of Jaguar, speaking of not good, Jaguar starts offering 0% financing on the I-Pace to boost EV sales. That, if they, man, 0%, yeah, it's a steal, it's a deal, right? 0% financing, it's amazing, but the company is not making any money off of financing the car. That's a way of them getting rid of inventory. We do that at Lexus. We have 0% on stuff. When we just have too much inventory, we can't move it. That's one really good way to move it is advertise vehicles at 0% financing. So the I-Pace is a good car from what I hear. I don't know how reliable it is. I would assume it's kind of in the same league in terms of a Tesla in terms of reliability. Yeah, Bentley, we're still in Great Britain. Gosh, there's a lot of luxury automakers in Great Britain. The Brits really like to be pampered. Bentley can't decide what EV to build. Well, they're going to build one. I'm not going to read through this article. I will touch on this interior, though, because I'm a sucker for interiors. I think they will build a crossover EV, maybe possibly a new crossover for the brand. But look at this interior. This is just crazy. I've never been in a Bentley, and I've seen tons of Bentleys from the outside. I've never been in one. And so this level of detail and luxury inside of a Bentley, something I've never really seen before. at least not from a mass-produced, it's not really a mass-produced car, but for a street legal sort of out of the factory is what I'm trying to say. Out of the factory, you don't see a lot of this. Sometimes I've seen some LX 570s in like Dubai, which have interiors that are on par with this or pretty close, but this is just crazy. And we have a Bentley dealership here in Omaha now, so I'm hoping I can get my hands on one. I will. There's no way I won't, because that's my goal, that's my dream. So I'll get you guys a Bentley review in the next year or two. It's going to happen. Rolls Royce can't keep up with the Cullinan demand. And that is an article I touched on last week, but it keeps getting recirculated. Yeah, they can't keep up with demand on it, which is a really good thing for Rolls Royce. Man, it's just, I would love to drive one of these. I think they're kind of ugly. I actually think the grille should be maybe a little bit bigger. As crazy as that sounds. Maybe that's just me being, brainwashed by Lexus at this point with their massive grills, but this vehicle's massive. So let's go on. We're going to America, boys and girls. America. Tesla's horrible, no good, very bad week is a sign for its 2019 outlook. Tesla's not doing well. Well, they are doing well, but their whole car brand is so dramatic. Tesla's having a rough second half of February. Amazon led a $700 million investment into Rivian. If you don't know about Rivian, they're going to be coming out with a fully electric pickup truck, and it looks amazing. Tons of power. It's going to be super fast. You're going to have lots of different builds. I think there's at least 3 different builds of it with different capacities in terms of range and different capacities in terms of horsepower and speed. So yeah, that's a kind of a kick in the balls for them when Amazon is investing in a competitor to them. This may prove to be the most significant milestone for U.S. autos for all of 2019. Rivian doesn't make sedans like Tesla, but it is a competitor, like I just said. On February 20th, Tesla announced the departure of General Counsel Dane Buttswinkus after just 2 months on the job. It was a second high-profile departure this year after Tesla Chief Financial Officer Deepak Ahuja in late January said he would retire sometime in 2019. And then on February 21st, Consumer Reports pulled their recommendation. So they really haven't had any good news in this part of February, which is pretty crazy. And there's probably more stuff. I'm not going to read the whole article. Make sure to check it out if you're interested. Going on to Lincoln. Lincoln Corsair spied ahead of schedule plug-in hybrid possible. The replacement for the Lincoln MKC may be here sooner rather than later, and a plug-in hybrid version may be planned. So there it is right there. Looks pretty simple. I think it looks okay even in this camouflage. But let's just read the bullet points and move on. Lincoln is out testing its upcoming Corsair compact crossover intended to replace the current MKC and now expected to debut in 2020. It's expected to share many parts with the Ford Escape, but its styling will be closer to that of the newly introduced Lincoln Aviator. We're fairly confident there will be a plug-in hybrid version, and so is the website, The Truth About Cars, which claims to uncover a Ford document saying so. So pretty exciting, I guess. GM, Cadillac CT6 and Chevy Impala get a stay of execution. So again, we know a lot of these companies are downsizing their engine options, their vehicles. We knew these 2 vehicles were getting the axe, but they are going to be holding off, killing out them completely until January 2020. It says, which is good news for the classic Detroit assembly plant that builds them, meaning American workers. It's Detroit Hamtramck. Can't spell that. Can't say that. Definitely can't spell it. The assembly plant will stay open and stay building the Cadillac until January. The company says the decision was driven by production timetables and the plant's future past that date is still, I don't understand that. So I couldn't really find any good information on Alfa Romero except this video here from, I think it's Top Gear on their YouTube channel. We're just going to watch it. It's a race between Mercedes-Benz GLC 63S AMG model versus a Stelvio Quadrifoglio. Sweet, real awesome vehicles, and you can see that the Mercedes just has a shit ton more torque, and we'll see that evident, and they weigh roughly the same. See the evident here in the video. Pretty cool. So they got the same start, it looked like. Oh, and then that Mercedes just pulls ahead. Gosh, that's crazy. But they're really close, really close. It was a fun little clip to watch, and I do thank Top Gear for putting that on. If anyone watching this has either of those vehicles, tell me how crazy it is. Anyways, Maserati. So I mentioned this in my introduction for this video. Maserati Alfieri electric confirmed for production in 2020. This is kind of what the company needed. I don't think Maserati is doing that well. They have a lot of redesigns and refreshes coming in the next year or two. But just looking at the specs here, all I really can see, the only thing that pops out to me, honestly, is 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 2 seconds, which is like 62 miles an hour. 2 seconds. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. I'm not going to read this article too much, but there you go. This is going to be just as fast or real close to the speed of the upcoming Tesla Roadster. So, oh, by the way, did I ever say we're in Italy? I'll put the Italian flag up. My bad. I just jumped. I wanted to get rid of that stupid Cadillac article. Gosh, Cadillac's not my favorite brand. If there's Cadillac fans out there, don't hate, right? Don't hate. Don't hate. It's not my favorite brand. I wanted to get out of that article. Here we go. Lamborghini dealership opens. Now this one strikes home to me a little bit, and I'll explain why. Automobili Lamborghini America recently opened a new store in Sarasota. Sarasota is in Southwest Florida, which was only about an hour north of where I lived for about 5 years and met my wife, started my family, etc. So Lamborghini is opening a Sarasota dealership, which is an interesting place for them to do that. I mean, there's a ton of money in Florida, ridiculous amounts of money in Florida. So, but it's going to be serving not only Sarasota, but it says Tampa, St. Pete, as well as Fort Myers. And the irony is that it's like literally a block away from the Lexus dealership there in Sarasota, which I'll put up a picture of that Lexus dealership. It doesn't look good. It looks like it needs they need to completely design a new facility. But we have a Lamborghini dealership coming to Southwest Florida, which is super cool. There's so many exotics in Southwest Florida as well. I mean, even in Southeast Florida, if you get over to Miami and things like that. But that's cool. That one was really, that's what struck home out of all these articles, struck home the most. And I still have a lot of family. My wife's family's down there as well in Florida. Last article, we're going to the great Nordic land of Sweden. And the 2020 Volvo XC90 is getting a refresh. I have a review on the XC90. Maybe even two of them. I think I maybe reviewed two different trims of them. One was a 16, one was a 17, I believe. And they really haven't changed since 16. And when I drove those, I really, really enjoyed them. Love the interior quality of Volvo quite a bit. And I'm really excited to see a refresh. Now, just looking at this, I personally can't tell from the naked eye that there's a refresh on it. Well, that might be the normal one. See, I don't even know, because I scroll down here and these are like that's like the new photo. So maybe the lights, the wheels are different. The interior might be a little bit different as well. So let's just read it. Subtle updates to the exterior, which I can't really tell. Revised grille, and their grille changes depending on the spec level you get it. I know there's like a R design. There's like the inscription, there's different builds of the XC90, and I knew the grille changes depending on the vehicle. So changing the design from vertical bars on the standard version, which I haven't reviewed. The model also gets new wheels, exterior colors. Interior design remains largely the same, although buyers can now opt for a version with 6 seats instead of the standard 7. So what does that mean? That means that there's going to be captain's chairs, which is a very welcome addition, because I found the third row of the XC90 to be quite usable and somewhat enjoyable for a 6'1" adult. Ooh, a new wool blend is a new material option. Oh, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that. I really dig Volvo's interiors, their overall designs. That sums it up for this week's Luxurious News Update. I'll try to be putting these out every Sunday or Monday. I like to do it on Sunday nights, just kind of have a routine. I don't know if that's the best time to post something like this for a YouTube sort of thing. I'll see you in the comments below. Did anything stand out to you this week? Lexus outselling Porsche in Europe is ridiculous. Tom Brady cheating on Aston Martin, ridiculous. But I'll see you guys down below. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, because we're here to have fun, guys. We're just here to have a good time. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.